Big Al is the costumed elephant mascot of the University of Alabama Crimson Tide in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Mascot history. The origin of the mascot dates back to 1930. On October 8, 1930, a sports writer for the Atlanta Journal, Everett Strupper, wrote about the previous weekend's Alabama-Ole Miss football game. He wrote, "That Alabama team of 1930 is a typical Coach Wallace Wade machine. Powerful, big, tough, fast, aggressive, well-schooled in fundamentals, and the best blocking team for this early in the season that I have ever seen. When those big brutes hit you, I mean you go down and stay down, often for an additional 2 minutes." Quote, Strupper, using the flair for the dramatic common in sports writing at the time, wrote, "At the end of the quarter, the earth started to tremble. There was a distant rumble that continued to grow. Some excited fan in the stands bellowed, 'Hold your horses, the elephants are coming,' and out-stamped this Alabama varsity." Strupper and other writers would continue to refer to Alabama as the Red Elephants. The red, as a nod to the players' crimson jerseys, and the name stuck throughout what became a national championship season and beyond. Despite the nickname, it would be nearly 5 decades before Alabama recognized the animal as its official mascot. However, elephants featured prominently to game day tradition long before this point. Throughout the 1940s, for instance, the university kept a live elephant mascot named Alamite that was a regular sight on game days, and it would carry the year's homecoming queen onto the field every year prior to kickoff at the homecoming game. By the 1950s, keeping a live elephant year-round proved to be too expensive for the university. Instead, the UA Spirit Committee started hiring elephants, often from traveling circuses passing through or by Tuscaloosa, for every homecoming. In the early 1960s, Melford Espe, Jr., then a student, was the first to wear an elephant head costume to portray the Crimson Tide's unofficial mascot. Espe later became a university administrator, and football coach Paul Bear Bryant asked him to take responsibility when student groups asked to resurrect the costumed mascot in the late 1970s. Big Al, the mascot, known as Big Al, today was the brainchild of University of Alabama student Walt Hart. He was meeting with the homecoming chairman Ann Page in 1979 as they were trying to come up with something different for the school's homecoming parade. He told Ann that several schools in the Southeastern Conference had obtained mascot costumes and proposed that the University of Alabama should get one as well. After contacting the University of Kentucky and a few other schools, Walt was able to discover that their mascots were designed and constructed by the Disney Company. He contacted Disney and received a price quote for the design and construction of the elephant costume, since funding for the mascot costume would have to come from the athletic department. Walt and Ann set up a meeting with Coach Bryant, as he was not only the football coach, but also the athletic director at the university. Bryant teased them about having an elephant on the field and the mess it would make. They assured him that it was just a person in an elephant costume and not a real one, to which the coach gave a big grin and said he knew all along. He said he thought elephants were very smart but a little slow. But overall, the meeting went very well as Coach Bryant said they could have the funds for the elephant costume. The Big Al mascot officially debuted at the 1980 Sugar Bowl, when the 1979 Alabama Crimson Tide football team defeated the Arkansas Razorbacks. Student Hugh Dye earned the honor to bring Big Al back to life in New Orleans, followed by Kent Howard and Maury Smith to kick off the inaugural 1980 season and roam the sidelines. Big Al celebrated his first year with Bear Bryant's 300th win against the Kentucky Wildcats and a victory against the Baylor Bears in the 1981 Cotton Bowl. Since then, the elephant mascot has been a fan favorite among Tide fans, as the Crimson Tide does not feature a prominent logo on their helmets or uniforms. Big Al's likeness appears on much of the merchandise. Big Al was named by a student vote. At the time of the vote, there was a popular DJ on campus by the name of Al Brown, who DJ'd many of the largest campus parties, including those hosted by members of the football team. As a result of DJ Al's popularity, a campaign was started on campus to name the mascot after him, and that campaign succeeded at the polls. Every April during the weekend of the A-Day spring football game, there is a 3-day tryout process for UA students who want to become Big Al. The first day consists of an interview-in clinic, where the candidates learn to emulate the character and walk of Big Al. The second day consists of more clinic, as well as being judged on the walk and participating in a band cheer. Later that afternoon, the candidates come either prepared with a 1.5-minute skit or they can make an impromptu one at tryouts. Each candidate performs their skits for a score, and then there is a final cut before A-Day. Whoever makes the final cut is invited to A-Day for the final tryout, which consists of a field walk before the game. This is where they are scored for going in public in a non-athletic event setting and interacting with the public. After this, they perform for 10 to 15 minutes each during the game, mimicking a normal game day atmosphere. The final announcement of the next year's mascot team happens immediately following the spring game, while allowed to do some planned photo ops with other mascots, such as or be from arch rival Auburn University. Big Al, as per university rule, is generally not allowed to interact on the field with opponent mascots. This is due to an incident in 2002 that took place between Big Al and Seymour from Southern Miss. During a game in Tuscaloosa, a fight was scripted before the game, in which the rules were that Big Al loses the fight in front of the visitors section, and Big Al dominates in front of his students section. The scripted fight suddenly turned unscripted after Seymour deviated from the set rules, and a raucous fight on the sidelines between the two ensued. Big Al is sometimes joined by a female counterpart, an elephant named Big Alice, at athletics events. References: external links. Big Al on Alabama Crimson Tide website.